Welcome back to the channel. I'm Spencer. I've been gone for a little bit. Bobby, this is his first video, so it's like a fresh new set of hosts here, right? All right, Bobby. So first off, I'm gonna get into questions that everyone asked you from our community, but why don't you go ahead and like tell everyone sort of where you're from and what your journey's been like up till now a little bit.
Yep. So I'm Bobby Buckets. Actually went to school out in Phoenix, Arizona, Grand Canyon University. So, just play 2K in my free time. Started playing competitively last year. Made the draft pool last year, didn't get drafted. So then, worked hard to get back, and excited to be part of Pacers Gaming.
So we were talking about that your draft experience. So what was that like this season, sitting there, season 3? Hoping to get drafted? Yeah,
I think it's a lot different than last year. Last year was, not expecting as much. This year, I had a lot more interviews, so it's kind of, I thought I might get taken earlier. So it's kind of, you have teams that you've talked to that you think, might take you, and then it's kind of just a roller coaster of emotions. They don't take you, and then all of a sudden, you're like, dang, I might not get drafted again. So, and then it kind of made it more exciting once I got, heard my name for coming to the Pacers.
That's right. All right, let's get into some of the community questions from my Strophy. He's always on the channel. He says, first of all, as a Pacers Gaming fan, or first of all, as a fan of Pacers Gaming, same thing, I'm glad to have you guys on the team, AKA you, Jomar, Ohio. How does it feel to represent this organization, and what does it mean to you to get drafted to the Pacers?
Yeah, I think definitely, it's a dream come true, and just kind of with the Pacers specifically, just kind of, my background, I love basketball, big basketball guy. So the Pacers and Indiana in general just have a rich tradition of basketball. So I think it's kind of cool just to be part of that, and I think that kind of, it's kind of like a perfect fit for me in that sense.
By the way, just so everyone knows, some of these questions were answered by Jomar and Bohio in the last Q&A video, but I had to sit Bobby down because he just got in at like 10 p.m. last night. So pretty fresh off the plane, right? And we're gonna run him through some of the same questions, and on the community tab, which you guys should pay attention to, we're gonna run him through some of the questions that some people posted this morning. Ask them to grill you a little bit.
Oh, man.
What's it like trying to gel with new teammates? Now, I know you had less than 24 hours so far, but what do you see sort of going forward with the personalities already on the team?
Yeah, I think it's a great set of guys. I think, none of us have egos. We all, so far, have gotten along. And I think it's just, the big thing, I think, it's just having a common goal, when it's a team environment, knowing, you really at just end of the day just want to win and, keep getting better. You're not getting down on each other when, times are going to be tough, but just kind of keep working towards that common goal.
Do you bring in a big ego?
Not at all. I think I'm probably big laid back guy, joke around, never get, down on anyone, just kind of always staying positive.
So that question was from Nathan. Forgot to mention that. This next one's from Sonic Dex. He says, how did you start playing 2K?
Yeah, for me, just big sports fan. So I love playing any sports game, whether it was Madden, 2K, NBA Live, college basketball, growing up. So I played just as a sports fan for fun. I used to love playing like the franchise modes and making trades and all that fun stuff. So that was back then I played 2K and NBA Live going back and forth. Mm-hmm. So it was that's how I started. I've always played, and once the league became a thing, I started playing competitively last year.
What do you think was your first 2K? Do you know?
I would say, I think I played before, but the most memorable one was 2K4 with Ben Wallace on the cover. Ooh. So that's what I remember. Back. Yeah, I was like young, but growing up I played like NBA Live, and obviously they stopped that. So that's I always played just both though, so.
Yeah, so kind of bouncing off that question, John Raby asks, sort of where were you mentally when you realized you wanted to play 2K competitively? When or how, like through maybe a league or a team that you got on, like where do you feel like you sort of made the break into that competitive scene a little bit?
So I started playing competitively in NBA 2K19. So really, after the league, I know they're doing interviews and they're like, so-and-so played on this pro-am team. And I'm like, I've never heard of these teams, like never heard of these leagues. And then, so I knew I wanted to get in the league, so I started playing. And then once, it's kind of tough working your name way up, but I think the first time where I really got recognition and like was known in the prime community was after the Dallas Texas ticket. So I actually flew out there, played on the stage, all the league teams and stuff were watching, and that's kind of, we won the tournament, so that was kind of when I felt that's where I was known and kind of broke through in the competitive scene.
So recent, really?
Yeah,
very recent.
That was beginning of November, so.
Yeah. My Strophy, we already read his question before. He kind of asked the same question today, but I just wanted to give him the little shout out because he said, "Hey Bobby, glad to have you on the team. Much love from Finland. # set the pace."
Awesome.
Set the pace. Let's see. Maury says, explain what build he has and how it's going to help the team. So I'll start first. What most people maybe don't know is that the league mode that we play is different from the retail version. So whatever build you had in Pro-Am or the retail version of the game doesn't transfer over. When we're gonna do a whole league build series explaining everything with the mode, all the archetypes and everything like that. But just as a general level, there's 8 archetypes per position that the guys can choose from. With that being said, let's kind of break up this whole thing into 2 parts. What build did you, or position kind of worry you, what build did you run with the most in Pro-Am?
Yeah, so I played, last few months mainly been playing power forward, and I played on the playmaking glass cleaner. So actually it was a center build, but I use it to play power forward just because it gets more defensive badges. So could shoot, can pass, can finish a little bit, even though it doesn't have finishing badges, and a lot of defense to be able to help and rotate and stuff like that. So main glass cleaner.
Hey, drop it in the comments below if you want to see a video with his build in it. We'll get that. We'll get that done for you guys. So that build's not going to help the team necessarily, but how do you think you're going to help our team?
Yeah. For me, I think just a lot of definitely my basketball background can bring a lot. Whether I have a lot of plays that we ran in college, working with the basketball team at GCU. And just kind of that knowledge, and then really just being positive, and kind of if I'm on the court, then I'm gonna just help being defensive minded, communicating, and then off just helping with film, stuff like that, helping game plan. So
maybe a little content here and there.
Yeah, exactly.
What's the story behind Bobby Buckets, the name itself?
Yeah.
Where'd that come from?
Yeah, so that name actually was my high school basketball nickname. It started my junior year. Guy named Alex George, my teammate, he actually he kind of called me a bunch of different nicknames, but one of the practice or something, he just called me Bobby Buckets or something, and then it kind of just stuck, and then that kind of became my high school nickname. And then kind of with 2K, I didn't change my name until last year, right before the draft, permanently to Bobby Buckets. Before, I had just Buckets in my name. So I kind of just felt like it was a good way to might as well stick with the high school basketball nickname.
That's right. It flows really well.
Yeah.
What NBA player inspired you or made you like the game of basketball?
Yeah. I would definitely say Allen Iverson. That was one of my favorite players growing up. I'm actually, probably shouldn't say, but Denver Nuggets fan. So it kind of became a Denver Nuggets fan because of Allen Iverson, and I kind of fell in love with that. Allen Iverson, Melo, J.R. Smith, Marcus Camby, that team, and then just kind of stuck with them since.
So that question was from Nate Green. This one from Blake Jones. We kind of answered this one a little bit already, but want to shout him out. He said, what steps do you have to take to make a name for yourself to one day make the 2K League? And he says, congrats, by the way, Bucket. So he's already shortening it.
Yeah, appreciate that. And, for me, I think it's just was got to put a lot of time in, obviously, but just kind of playing competitively. I think you got to definitely compete and be able to play against the best. That's where you're going to get more recognition by playing against the best. And kind of, I think just being able to put yourself out there, whether it's content, highlights, streaming, and stuff like that, that kind of helps. So, for me, when I made the draft pool last year, teams were asking for film and stuff, and who you've beat, and I had nothing. So this year I got into streaming and made sure all my games there was somewhere for them to watch, just so they can actually see how good you are and stuff like that, and that kind of goes a long way.
Yeah, and we were just talking about that right before we hit record. Even if you're not streaming, you could always record your gameplay while you're playing, and then upload that like you did to YouTube, which makes it really easy for us to go watch your footage.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, just exactly. So I'd stream, I'd download my stream, make it where it's just game by game and upload to YouTube. And so on my YouTube channel, just a bunch of pro-am games versus, I try to keep it versus the better teams. So.
All right, last question here from Jake Carter. What aspect of being in the league are you looking forward to the most?
Yeah, I would say for me, just being able to compete and being a part of a team. I've kind of been a part of teams my whole life, and it's just so much different when you're considered, one of the players compared to, for me in my sense, was more in like a coaching manager role at GCU. So being back in that player aspect and being able to compete, kind of just like playing real basketball, I think, working towards a common goal and just kind of seeing growth throughout the years, kind of exciting.
Well, we're excited to have you finally here, man. We're just getting started. It's day one, literally, but I had to get him in front of the camera already for you guys. A little Q&A with Bobby Buckets. If you guys have any other questions for him, I'll make sure he gets into the comments section down below. So leave him down there, and he'll check them out as well.
Perfect. Excited to be a Pacer.
Excited to be a Pacer. All right, guys. Appreciate you watching. We'll see you next time. That's it.
Perfect. Nice and
easy.
Nice.
We had a couple questions like while we were doing it. Yeah, so I filled them in. Feels all right. It's been a while since I've been in front of the camera too.
It's good.